Hi there guys, this is Scart and I'm back with another video, and in this video I'll be talking about All Might Glamour, also called as Glam, this person right here. And on the heroes list he's gonna be in the Glamour section, All Might, this person right here. So I'm gonna explain his talents, what loyalty you should keep him at, what gears he would prefer, chips recommendations, transistor recommendations, and also mentalities that is a must on Glam. Alright, so let's begin. So this is my Glam right now. He's currently level 110 and he's at the max stars, that is 12 stars. And I'll come back to explaining the stars real quick. This is what his stats looks like. He has 156.65% crit rate and 76.7% crit damage. And right after that we have 191.5% damage bonus and 365.9% attack bonus. And his attack is currently 1,113,000. So yeah, that's pretty much it. He already has those extra bonuses. So let's begin. So let's start with his normal attack actually. What this does is it deals 100% physical damage to only one opponent, and this is supposed to be in the front row, and it adds on to that damage with a 10% of target's max HP. So if you are attacking an opponent which has 1000 HP, this just the normal attack is gonna add additional 100 damage to your 10% physical damage that you're going to be dealing. So it is pretty useful because it's true damage and it cannot be reduced at all. Now there is a limitation to this ability, that is you just can't do 10% automatically. If your opponent has a billion HP for an example but only has like 100 damage, 100 attack, in that case the 10% max HP cannot exceed 350% of the hero's attack. So in that case, even if he has a billion HP for example and only has like 1000 attack, the max you can deal is only 3500 damage as the true damage. So that's just a disclaimer. And his ultimate right here, now this is the best one to be honest. So it deals 350% physical damage. 350% is a huge multiplier. Like it's not little. Even though it's attacking just one enemy, it's a huge damage to be honest. And as a cherry on top of the cake, we have 30% additional true damage of the target's max HP. So in this case, if your opponent has 10,000 HP, you're gonna deal an additional 3000 damage to that opponent on top of this 350% physical damage. Now just as a disclaimer, this 100% physical damage and 350% physical damage, that can be reduced a lot by having suitable mentalities and raising your character in a specific way, which I'll talk about in a different video, like a Kirishima build video. So alright, now let's come to his costume. So his costume at level 10 will just get rid of this requirement of attacking a front row enemy for both his ultimate and his normal attack, and rather he would go for the opponent with the lowest HP. Now how does this help him? Because I will show you real quick about how that attacking the opponent with the lowest HP helps. So his star ups, now I have him on 12 stars, but this is what happens. At 1 star you get 24% HP, that's good, not bad. At 2 stars, you're right after you cast your ultimate, that is Texas Smash, you cast one more Justice Barrage or your normal attack. So every time your Glam or All Might Glamour does his ultimate, he's gonna do his normal attack right after as a follow-up. At 3 stars you get 24% defense, which is not quite recommended, but you need that for the other ones. Now his 4th star, which is personally the most recommended star, getting the 4th star is a must. After killing a target, cast one more Texas Smash. So he does his ultimate all over again. But there is just a slight difference. The damage is reduced by almost more than half if you think about it, because If you remember, the real ultimate has 350%. This recast will only have 120% physical damage, and the real ult has 30% max HP. This one only has 10%, and the extra damage still cannot exceed 350% of the attack. So this 4th star is a must for Glam, and if you haven't unlocked the 4th star for Glam yet, I wouldn't recommend using him in PvP as such, but if you do not have any other DPS in your team, then Glam is definitely a good addition. But the second you unlock the 4th star, Glam is a must in your team for player versus player like UA Peak, CS UA, cross server UA Peak, and other stuff like that. And yeah, he's just a must. And then 5 star, definitely recommended because it gives him attack percent of 24, or attack percent 24%, yeah, whatever. So pretty good. Increases his normal base attack, or gives him attack bonus right here. This 365 increases that. And the 6th star, which literally breaks Glam, and that is probably why you would have seen him in almost all your opponents, like how you can see mine is almost 8 million power. I have made him insane. Is this star right here, and this is a huge must. So basically, after being hit by a lethal blow, what it means is when your Glam dies for the first time, he doesn't die at all. He doesn't die for the first 2 rounds, but rather enters a tenacious state in which he's immune to death. And how does this help you? In this stage, Glam basically dodges all the attacks. Now, all the CCs or anything like crowd controllers like Nezu, Ibarra, no one can stun him, numb him, or anything. The only thing that works in this tenacious state are assist skills. Assist skills can still numb, stun, or silence Glam, so be aware of that. So yeah, and then after that, every other star from there on just increases his base stats, or like maybe the percentages like attack percentage, HP percentage, and physical and magic defense bonus of percentages by 10 for the first 2. That is 7 star and 8 star, then 12% each at 9 star and 10 star, and then 15% for both 11 star and 12 star. So that is his stars. Now for transcending, basically transcending just means leveling him up, and after you have leveled him up to the max level that he can hit, you can transcend him so that his level cap increases and you can go beyond what you have upgraded him to. Like if I transcend right now, even though I can't, I can get him to level 120. Now right now I have kept him 110, but the most recommendable level personally would be level 80, because at level 80 he has enough enough rage to do his ultimate in the first round, and this is a pretty must transcend skill because obviously, right. And so basically level 80 gives him his start rage, which allows him to cast his ultimate in the first round. And if he kills the opponent in the first round, it's easy because he keeps chaining, if you remember from his 4th star, which is a must as I mentioned. And 6th star is also a must, to be honest, because if he keeps chaining and then he attacks someone like Kirishima and takes in a lot of damage reflect, he's gonna die and he's not gonna chain anymore. So it's definitely necessary to get 6th star. So yeah, so for transcending, I think 80 is a must, and you get him to 80 when you hit level 70, and then 90 is pretty useful, but at level 100 it's pretty good because this is like an aura. It gives 1200 base attack to all your heroes who are deployed, and 110 gives you crit damage, so pretty good at level 110 as well. If you are already level 100, definitely try going for the level 110. Alright, so from there we go on loyalty. Now this depends, because basically loyalty gives you a lot of increase in damage as such, because all the loyalties at the multiples of 5, like at level T0 level 5, T1 level 0, T1 level 5, so on till T5 level 0, that is the highest one. His attack and all his base HP increases, all his base stats increases by a percentage. So he's pretty good with that, because obviously he needs to deal a lot of damage, so higher the loyalty the better he is. So definitely, if you're running a DPS team and not a defensive team, definitely go for him. If you're rather building a defensive team, then I would prefer keeping his loyalty at least 2 or 3. If you have already used all your loyalty on someone else, 2 to 3 is definitely recommended on Glam, because anything lower will have his stats like fall down pretty bad. Right after that is gears. So for his gears, give him the best quality gears you have, because if you're running him as your main DPS who kills everyone from your opponents, then it's must to have the best quality gears that you can give him. Now what I would recommend is, if you're not running a defensive team, give him the best. If you're running the defensive, maybe give him the second best that you have. And as per the leveling criteria, Vambrace is the most important one, because obviously it gives you attack, which is the most important for Glam. He's the damage dealer, the main DPS. The most important fact is, try to keep all 4 of these same. Even if you have a better gear, like a higher quality gear, but you don't have 4 of a set, it's kind of bad, because when you have 4 of a set, you can see right here, your damage bonus increases by 11 and 11 at the highest gear quality, but at lower gear qualities you still get like 6% or 5% or something, which if you think about the damage that your Glam is dealing, it's pretty high. So for leveling criteria, Vambrace requires you to have the highest level. I would prefer going at least level 200, but if you are currently new at the game and low on resources, definitely try getting it to 160, 150-ish, and the rest can stay a bit below that. But in an ideal situation, 200, and the rest can stay 150. Now I had enough resources to already get them to 220 each, so I got it, because why not? So yeah, and give him the best quality gears as I mentioned. Now for the modifications, the most important ones are Vambrace, because 1, crit rate. Your Glam has to continuously hit crit shots so that his damage can increase by a lot, and he also needs crit damage, which I'll talk about in a few seconds. Right after that is the Shin Guard. Now this right here, hit percent, is a must, because if your Glam attacks an opponent and you get it, like the opponent dodges it, your Glam is not going to chain, not going to kill him, and at the end of the day he's probably going to die, because opponents also have Glam or someone else as their DPS who could possibly kill him. So these two are pretty must have at higher levels. And the other ones do need to be upgraded because of the refiner level bonus that we get, and I would like to keep them at like a multiple of 2. Like I would personally say 14, 16 is a good spot to stop if you want to focus on other gears enhance or modification as well, because at like 20 I'm getting 20% damage bonus and 20% damage reduction, so it's pretty useful because of that damage bonus. And the most important one, Vambrace and Shin Guard. The others also do need to get modified because of the refiner level. Alright, for his costume, level 10 is a must, because if your opponents are at a lower HP, he can easily kill them and then recast his ultimate and probably kill even more people, or like not people, sorry, or opponents, and keep chaining till he kills everyone. So definitely a must. Good stopping point would be 26, because at 26 you get damage bonus of 12%, and also 24 you have 12% attack bonus. Everything after that is kind of not needed if you do not have enough resources, but definitely hit the 26 mark, because he's your main DPS and you would need a lot of damage from his end. If you're pretty new at the game and you're not able to hit that 26, I would definitely say go for 16, because that 16th damage bonus is also pretty useful. You would not need that starting rage at level 20 and 30 specifically for him, because as I mentioned, if you got him at level 80, he already guarantees a start at the first round, unless your opponent is like Shigaraki at 6 stars who can reduce your rage by a lot, or like Black Hole Assist skill users. In that case you can go for 20 or 10 so that you can get more rage at the starting. Alright, so that's that. For chip, I personally use the chip, the Odin's chip, which is the chip 14 or XIV. The only reason being that in the first round you get 45% damage bonus at level 0. Now in the first round, most of my buffs from the buffer heroes of mine is given to Glam, so it's really important to absolutely kill every opponent that I have in the first round so that they cannot attack me or buff the opponent themselves. So that's why I use this one. But as an alternative, matter of fact, a better chip is chip 11. So as of now, from what I have tested, a level 1 chip 11 is way better than level 0 chip 14. Now, getting chip 14 is way harder than getting chip 11, because chip 11 can be obtained in different ways. But chip 14, there's only one way, which is Ferris wheels, and we don't know when the next chip Ferris wheel is gonna come. So definitely aim for chip 11, because that is the best for Glam. Now why do I say so? Because of the crit damage. So crit damage scaling based on the damage is the highest, and right after that comes damage bonus. That is also why I have kept this one. And right after damage bonus is attack bonus scaling. So the more the crit damage, the higher damage your Glam deals. But at the same time, if you have crit damage, you would also need a lot of crit rate. But the chip 11 already gives you like 50% crit rate at like level 1, and even 30% crit rate at level 0. So building crit is pretty easy on Glam, and if you have crit damage, the damage increases by a lot. Right after chip 11, we have chip 10, because it's something similar like the chip we have right before. Gives you 20% crit rate and 25% damage bonus. So these two are pretty similar. The only difference being this 25% is for the entire game, not for the first round. So this could sometimes also lead to higher damage than the chip 14, but I still use chip 14 because if I have a higher quality, why not go for that? Now for the modules, definitely aim for the red or the golden one for the attack, because it gives you a very high base stat. If you are able to buy the rainbow or the colorful one, definitely go for the attack, because it's a must on Glam, because he needs attack. If you remember, the one in the middle can literally be anything. Same goes for the HP one and the defense. I personally would go for the red or the golden one, maybe preferably golden because it's easier to get or buy. Red if you can afford it, definitely go for red. Same goes for HP, golden one works pretty good. Red is also recommended. And yeah, that's with the gears. For mentalities, I'll actually come back to mentality after the crystals or the transistors. So for transistors, I currently have him on courage, and courage is the best one for Glam. Why? Because first, crit damage. If you remember, I mentioned crit damage scaling is the highest, and then it's damage bonus, and then it's attack bonus. So crit damage is a must. And the best part of this transistor's effect is when the opponent has more than 70% HP, you also get 40% damage bonus. And then if you're starting in the game, most of the opponents are gonna have full HP, right? And that's over 70%, so you get this 40% damage bonus. So it's such an immense increase in damage that it's a must to have courage. And the substats that you should be looking for is crit damage. Definitely need a lot of crit damage on Glam, because it's a must on him because of the scaling that I mentioned. Right after crit damage, we want a lot of damage bonus. So as you can see, this is a perfect transistor that you can get for Glam. Actually, it could have been better if it was all crit damage, but I'm not that lucky. You know what I mean. So crit damage, damage bonus, and then another thing which helps is the attack bonus. So attack bonus is also pretty useful and pretty recommended as well, because if you can't get a crit damage one, definitely go for attack bonus. And then right after those come something like crit rate and hit. Now hit is pretty important because in the recent metas, players are like putting a lot of dodge on their character, like a goat character who just is there as a bait, so that your Glam just like hits them at the first because of the costume's low HP attack, and then you just kind of die. You just kind of cannot kill him because he has a lot of dodge. So hit definitely helps in that. Crit rate, because obviously you want to crit your shot, so that crit damage bonus that I'm getting from here and other places definitely helps you a lot. So those are the substats that you should be looking for. Now personally, because Glam is a attack based unit and he needs a lot of attack, and you know that 1 gives you P defense, 2 gives you M defense, and 3 gives you HP. but all three of them give you the same amount of attack. So the higher the quality of transistors, the better it is. Now I use the highest quality, which is the rainbow or the colorful transistors, but I would definitely recommend, in any way or shape or form, go for the golden or the red ones, preferably red, because they're easy to farm in dojo and you can get it easily, like more easily than the rainbow one, because stage 10 is hard. I have been there. So yeah, definitely go for red ones. If you can't, then go for gold and get them as high in level as possible. The best stopping point would be 15, or if you do not have a lot of resources, 10, but at least try hitting that 10 so that you can unlock the first two substats, and it's a must for Glam. And again, because it's just attack is in all three of them, try leveling up all three of them equally, like how I have 15, 17 and 20. Probably planning on going 20, 20, 20, but I'll probably think of that later. You can come back to that. Now, other transistors that is important on Glam is the Fury transistor. Now, what does Fury transistor do? Firstly, it gives you attack bonus. If you remember, attack bonus is pretty useful because your Glam can deal more damage. And the biggest thing is, after casting your ultimate, you have 20% chance to cast that ultimate again without consuming reach. Now that's the biggest thing. If you get pretty lucky with that 20% and assume your Glam is dealing like 1,000,000 damage in one round, your Glam has 20% chance to just double it up and deal 2,000,000 damage. Whereas if you have the Courage transistor, it will go somewhere around 2.8 million in 2 rounds. If you get this, you can hit 3 million, but there's a 20% chance for that. So if you calculate the results, Fury needs a bit of luck, but if you have that luck, the damage is more than the Courage transistor, but the Courage does not need luck. So that's why I prefer that. Another thing that I have seen others do is using this transistor, which is, just give me one quick second, which is what? Right, so which is the Ruthless transistor. Now here you can see that crit rate is 15%, which is pretty useful on Glam, but as I mentioned, you're usually able to build up enough crit rate on Glam, so you wouldn't have to need that 15% extra crit rate. And if you do not have any of the others that I mentioned, that is the Courage or the Fury transistor, then I would say you could go for this, but I would still prevent going for this one and rather go for Fury or Courage, and Courage is more recommended from my end because of the other the 3-piece effect. That is, if your opponent has less than 40% HP, damage bonus is plus 30%. So one thing, if your opponents are already so low on HP, that means your characters have already attacked them. That means your characters have also been attacked already, and that would also mean that your Glam could be on the verge of dying at that point. So it's definitely not recommended, because characters like Kirishima in PvP, they have the healing powers, and it's so insane that there are times when Kirishima doesn't even take damage. He overheals himself, like my Kirishima itself, which I can show in some other video. He just won't die, and so in that case he never comes under 40% HP, and you never get that damage bonus. Unlike Courage transistor, if Kirishima's always over 70% HP, I get that 40% damage bonus, so it's insane. So definitely go for that. Other than that, the other two transistors are not recommended because one, they give you defense bonus and you recover rage when you crowd control. Glam does not have crowd control ability, so it's not recommended. Tenacious, you could use this if you do not have any of the other 2 or 3 that I mentioned, because you get HP bonus, and Glam does not need HP because at 6 star he's just invincible for like 3 rounds definitely. And otherwise, and other thing is, you don't need to heal your Glam, because once he's dead he can't be healed when he's in that invincible state or like tenacious state, whatever that's called. So it's not recommended. Alright, so let's get back to his mentalities. Basically, what I would prefer always is crit damage mentality, which is this one right here, crit damage mentality. Now at golden it gives you 6% crit damage, and this one is pretty must on your glam if you have enough crit rate. But if you see that you do not have enough crit rate and you're not able to hit those crit shots, I would definitely suggest going for crit rate mentality, which gives you 10% crit rate, and I hope that helps in you getting 200 crit rate so that you can always crit and use that crit damage that you see right here. And apart from just those two, we have the damage bonus. Now, Glam is completely damage dealer. He doesn't need any defensive skills or mentalities, so I'm only showing you the ones that I recommend. So damage bonus, because this obviously helps you deal more damage. Not only if you hit crit, this damage bonus is also included on top of that crit damage. So that's why damage bonus is definitely recommended. And if you're not able to like ever start with your Glam's ultimatum, then you could put this one, but other than that I wouldn't recommend this. But another thing is, if you do have all the other ones that I mentioned already and you still have some empty spots in your mentalities, you could definitely go for this one as a filler because it's pretty useful on him. Apart from these ones, I would also go for the attack one because this increases your base attack, which is pretty useful on Glam because he needs that attack bonus and that attack, so definitely go for this one. And another important one is hit percent, because if you're not able to hit with your Glam and the opponents dodge you, as I mentioned, your Glam won't chain his ultimates and he'll probably end up dying before dealing a lot of damage. So definitely go for hit percent. It's a recommended one to have on him. Crit rate, as I mentioned, if you cannot hit the crits, then definitely go for that. Otherwise you can substitute it for others. If you have empty spots, go for crit rate because it's not something that will hurt. It's pretty useful. And apart from those, like those are the ones that you should definitely have as a golden one. If you have red ones like what I have, definitely use the red ones because they have higher base stats. Like this right here. You can pause the video and see what their stats are. And apart from just these, two of the exclusive red ones that is a must on Glam are these right here. So the first one is the legendary crushing strength mentality. Now this is very much required because if you face an opponent who has Momo in their team and they're faster, if Momo shields their opponent, like your opponents, what happens is basically Momo shield cannot be broken in any way, and in that case the opponents won't take any damage, won't die, and rather even heal from the damage that you dealt. Or like I think it's 50% of the damage that you deal, they heal for that much. And since your Glam is already so overpowered, this is a very important first red mentality that you should have for Glam if he's your DPS. And other than that is the and also All for One. If All for One casts his ult, he gets a super armor which makes him invincible to attacks. In that case he just takes no damage, so it's definitely recommended that Glam has this. Now the other mentality that I was talking about is the Tyrant Resolve, and what this does is in the first round you cannot get vertigo, silence, or paralysis. What does that mean? You cannot get numbed, silenced, or stunned. Numbed means you cannot do your normal attack. Silenced, which is the worst for Glam because his ult is the main part, you cannot do your ultimate, but if you do not have enough rage to do your ultimate, you can still do your normal attack and kill the opponent and then cast your ultimate again. And then same goes for numb. If you're numbed but you do have enough rage, you can still cast your ultimate and then do the normal attack again from his 2 stars, and then start the chain again. Now if you're stunned, that is the worst case scenario because your Glam cannot move at all. So in that case, in the first round, as you saw from my chip that I'm getting 45% damage bonus, it is a must that I do not get stunned or like not have my Glam move at all in the first round. So I definitely use this. This is also a must have if your opponents who are faster are starting with Nezu, because Nezu has powers that can, or even Ibarra, they have power of stunning the opponents like Glam itself. There's a short chance, but it's possible. And in that case you might end up losing because their Glam could be faster than yours and might attack before and could potentially kill you. So yeah, so that was my quick overview. I can also go for a short damage test, but that wouldn't be a good idea from my account. I could probably make a video in the near future with my friend's account who has a recently built Glam, and I can show you some damage bonus, or sorry, damage test from his account, but I can show you some of my Wish Realm attack. So let's go. So here you can see that I almost dealt 100 million damage in just first round, and if you can see in round 2 my damage kind of reduced, but I can explain that in a few seconds. That is because my buffs, which were supposed to be there from chip 14, that 45% damage bonus for the first round, is gone, if that makes sense. And in the entire battle I was able to deal 928 million damage, which is quite a lot to be honest. But if I use my actual team that I use, which is this right here, in that case I can show you the damage that he deals in the entire game. So in this damage focused build, as you can see, the first round damage did not increase by quite a lot. It was barely like a 10 million damage increase, or actually 1 million damage increase. And if you see in round 2, his damage did not decrease like the last time because of the additional buffs that I got. Matter of fact, it increased by like almost 4 million or 3 million, which is quite a lot if you think about it. And in the course of the entire round, my damage increased by like 300,000 or 300 million damage actually, and hit the billions. So he's pretty good in general. And the assist skill that I definitely prefer to use with Glam is the Carolina Smash assist skill, because one, it gives you damage bonus in every round. Right now there's some weird bug where it's not the odd rounds but rather all the rounds, and then you get quite a lot of damage bonus, and as you start them up you also get higher percentage of damage bonus, and at the same time you also have a chance to regenerate rage, which is pretty important on Glam. Another assist skill, if you do not have the Carolina Smash yet, is the Big Iceberg, which has a chance of casting, but if it is casted it gives you 5% damage bonus for the entire battle, whereas Carolina Smash, it only gives you for 2 rounds, if you look at that right there. So this one, if it casts in all the 4 rounds, already has a higher attack chance or higher damage bonus in just 4 rounds than Carolina Smash completely, if you think about it. So definitely recommended if you do not have Carolina Smash, but I would definitely wait in the assist skill shop so that I could get Carolina Smash at the earliest. And yeah, it definitely helps a lot. Apart from that, his actual assist skill, which showcases him, it's not that good. Personally, I do not like it because the damage that is dealt by this it's passive, and like the assist skill casting, it's just not that high, and at like higher opponents, when you're like at the end game, the damage is barely anything. Like there are times when Kirishima takes no damage because of this assist skill, and it kind of goes as a waste, so I would not recommend that. So yeah, that was basically how I have kept my Glam as of now. Now if he is your main DPS in your team, like just how I have him, he's the main DPS in my team, he breaks everyone, like all the opponents that are there. In that case, I would say personally to go all in your Glam, and what I'm trying to say by that is put all your resources for Glam, but then don't forget your support characters. Like I have Kirishima right here, don't forget about him, and also level his gears up. Don't only focus on Glam, but do give him extra like nurturing, and like level him up more than the others so that he can deal a lot of more damage and actually kill the opponents before you die yourself. So well, that was my Glam build. That is his actual power right there. Don't know how it increased by a bit, but probably something right here. So anyways, and that is how I play him in my team mostly. And yeah, I hope that helped, and I hope that you all liked this video and my Glam explanation and how to play him. And yeah, thank you so much, and I'll be making videos on how to build Kirishima and other characters soon, so I hope you'll be waiting for those as well. Thank you for your time, and that's me signing off. Bye bye.